Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I have a question for you. Have you ever tried to buy a car, maybe get an apartment, buy a house? Have you ever tried to get a phone with a contract company like T-Mobile, AT&T? If you have done any of these things, then you would have been asked a very common question. What is your credit score? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Francis Hamadachi, and I'll be presenting to you my audience, and I'm going to show my lovely audience. All right. This is my audience, and I have another audience here. All right. Appreciate that, Frankie. And now I'll also give the camera girl back the camera. And I would be more than delighted to tell you guys on how to raise your credit score. Okay? Now, there's three things you're going to have to remember that you need to raise your credit score. Okay? Number one, what we're going to talk about is what is your credit score. Okay? Number two, what we're going to talk about is what is the importance of having a credit score, a good credit score, okay? And the third, and I think most important, is how to increase the rating of your credit score, okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little definition of what a credit score is, okay? And now, Investopedia says that a credit score is a numerical expression based on a level analysis of a person's credit files to represent the creditworthiness of the person. A credit score is primarily based on a credit report information typically sourced from credit bureaus. Okay? So that is the definition. I'll break that down for you. So the credit score, it's just based off of three scores, usually rating from 300 to 850, okay? The lower your credit, the worse your credit is. The higher your credit, the better your credit is, okay? Now, the average range is usually around 500, 550, but you know, if you're around the 600s, 700s, that usually means you have an impeccable credit score. So that is a little brief summary of what a credit score is, okay, and that was my first point. Now, my second point is going to be the importance of a credit score, okay? Now, the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, your credit score is so valuable is because a lot of companies, when it comes to you buying or purchasing things, when it has to do with leasing or contracts or anything having to do with large, numbers in terms of payments, they check your credit score because that is the history of how well you pay back what you owe. And that's why it's so incredibly important to maintain a good credit score, because without a good credit score, it's really difficult to get into really, really nice things or more expensive things without having a good credit score. Even if you had the money to purchase what you need, you would still need a good credit score, because that is the history of how well you pay back your things. So if, let's just say you wanted to buy a $200,000 home, and you go there and you say, okay, I have the money to go ahead and get into the house, make a good down payment and everything. Yeah, I'm sure they would be more than willing to accept your money and to actually, fill out everything with you. But it's up until they check your credit score that the process of, buying the home will really start, because them checking your credit score will allow them to actually see whether you're capable of paying it back or not. And not only capable, but also probable to pay it back. So that's why it is so important, because once you get down the line, once you want to actually start purchasing more expensive things, or doing more, you know, with your funds, you're going to have really good credit in order to get, you know, in situations. Not only that, but a good credit score is actually able to you're actually able to do a lot more. Now jobs and other things have started to, you know, look at your credit score because it's kind of saying a lot about you just by looking at that specific number. Okay, so there's the second point. Third and final point, okay, is how to raise your credit score. All right. Now I have listed here 7 really easy steps to just raise your credit score. Number 1 is get you a Quicksilver credit card. Okay, it doesn't have to be Quicksilver, all right, but go ahead and get you a credit card. Once you get you a credit card, do not spend, don't do what I did and just spend up to the limit, but go ahead and don't spend more than 30% on your credit, because what that does is within time it increases your credit once you pay that amount. And once you stay within that 10% range, that 30% range, they're able to trust you with a lot more. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you can also become an authorized user. If you have a relative or family members that have really good credit, you could get on one of their credit cards if you don't trust yourself, and you could also build your credit up that way. But that would be up to your family members and, you know, the people that you would rely on, because they would also hold you accountable for what you spend. So that's also a good thing. Number 3 is underuse your credit card, just like I said, not more than 30%. That's pretty explanatory. Increase your limit. Once you start using your credit card, you stay under that percentage right there. Eventually they will, you know, increase your limit. And once you increase your limit, the more limit you have on your credit card, the more the company actually trusts you with that amount that's listed over there. Okay. Number 5 is don't close any cards, simply because it drops your credit once you close the credit card. Okay, so you open your credit card, you open a line, it's better for you to just leave that line alone, even for years, and watch your credit increase rather than to close the line, because it'll drop your credit. Number 6 is mix it up. Now, I'm showing you this credit card right here. Get at least 2 or 3. I talked to an advisor and they told me around 3. Get you three revolving lines of credit. So not necessarily a credit card, but other, you know, things that you know, revolve around credit. So, you know, your credit can start building on its own. All right. Now, the 7th is just simply paying your bills on time. Even twice a month will actually increase your credit, because it'll show a good history of credit. And those are my 3 main points. Okay, so what have we talked about today? We have talked about the definition of the credit score. What is a credit score? Number 2 is the importance of it, and I showed you the quick 7 steps to go ahead and increase your credit. And that was all given to us by Forbes.com, and you can go check out some more information there. And I want to thank my sponsors, Aquafina, for sponsoring my video. No, okay, they didn't sponsor this video. I just put it here just for laughing purposes. But I want to thank everybody that looked at my video, and I hope your credit increases with a little bit of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.